Hundreds of enormous rocks surged directly from the ground, converging in the sky, showing no fear in the face of the three white energy spheres of life force hurtling down the Guang Lu path. It seems Xiao Yin really is strong. Guang Lu's pride instantly sank, for he knew better than anyone the allure and danger of the sacred flame. A single sacred flame was incredibly precious and rare for them. It could be said without exaggeration that throughout the entire Xinling continent, even the mystic three heavens, no trace of a sacred flame had ever been discovered. This scarcity made it even more coveted. Guang Lu and Li weren't even from the Xinling continent. Both hailed from other lands within the four continents of the Dodi. They had come to the incense pavilion purely for training. Boom, boom, boom. The terrifying wind-attributed energy spheres were instantly absorbed by the heaven's stone-shattering burial, turning to dust without even raising a speck of debris. Enough, everyone stop, Guang Lu spoke softly, a rare tone of relief in his voice. Upon hearing this, Xiao Yin ceased his attacks and calmly watched Guang Lu. With his powerful soul strength, Xiao Yin sensed that the life force within Guang Lu's body had retreated, as if he had given up the fight. Captain. Seeing this, Qianzhong grew anxious. They were so close to defeating Xiao Yin and his team, securing the wooden medallion and entering the three great mountain ranges. Why was his captain suddenly backing down? Xiao Yin, that attack you used just now, it came from the power of the sacred flame, didn't it? Guang Lu asked, his eyes somewhat dazed. Yes. You've caught on, Xiao Yin didn't deny it. After all, with the intensity of that attack, only the sacred flame could possess such power, and each sacred flame had unique properties, making it impossible to escape Guang Lu's keen eyes. As I thought, it's a sacred flame. No wonder you were able to kill the twin ghost emperors. Guang Lu laughed, as if a great weight had been lifted from him. What is Guang Lu planning? Xiao Yin wondered suspiciously. Xiao Yin, I am not from the Xinling continent. To you, we are merely outsiders. I was born into a royal family, and I came to the incense pavilion to escape the political struggles back home. My father, the king, has fallen gravely ill, and only a sacred flame can cure him. If it's possible, I want to ask you, Brother Xiao Yin, once the sect competition ends, to come to my empire and save my father. As for the reward, you can name whatever you wish. Guang Lu's voice was hoarse, filled with desperation. What the? Xiao Yin felt a sudden heaviness in his heart. Guang Lu. Mu Feng and the others were equally shocked. Even during the battle, they could sense Guang Lu's innate pride. Clearly born of noble blood, he now lowered himself for the sake of his father, showing how much his father meant to him. The Empire's power struggles are too complex. I'd rather not get involved in such muddy waters. Xiao Yin shook his head slowly. Kai Lin had already secured her place in the Medusa clan, and once the sect competition ended, Xiao Yin planned to follow her in searching for Sun Er. His family's mysteries still loomed over him. How could he possibly find the time to help Guang Lu? Xiao Yin, I beg you, please help me. In the next moment, Guang Lu fell to his knees, pleading. Guang. Captain. The four members of the Dawn Squad shouted in unison. Ever since joining the incense pavilion, Qianzhong, Qianxiao, and Tan Xiaoyang had admired Guang Lu not only for his majestic aura but also for his selfless leadership, which made them willingly follow him as their captain. Who would have thought that Xiao Yan's sacred flame could bring someone as proud as Guang Lu to his knees? In all these years, I've never seen him act this way. And Li felt a shiver in his heart. I'll do it. If I have the time, I'll visit. But even though I have a sacred flame, I can't guarantee it will work, Xiao Yin said, somewhat reluctantly. Thank you, Xiao Yin. However, during the sect competition, don't expect me to go easy on you, Guang Lu replied, his composure returning as he stood up and addressed Xiao Yin. I look forward to our battle. Xiao Yin smiled. Well then, Li and I will be leaving Falling Spirit Mountain. As for the three of you, Guang Lu hesitated, a hint of guilt creeping into his voice. After all, Qianzhong and the others were disqualified because of him. Captain, it's fine. Since Brother Xiao Yin has agreed to help your father, we won't push you. If we're leaving, let's go together, Qianzhong and the others said, showing no resentment toward Guang Lu's decision. "All right. I knew I could count on you," Guang Lu said, tossing a wooden medallion to Xiao before clasping his fists in farewell. "Xiao, take care. Be cautious of the Earth Squad. They gave even me a hard time. We'll be waiting for your victorious return at the Incense Pavilion." With that, Guang Lu and his team departed. Xiao and his companions were now alone. Did we just win without a fight? Mu Feng teased. "Enough. Stop joking around. Recharge your Do Qi and prepare to enter the 3 great mountain ranges," Xiao said, rolling his eyes at Mu Feng. "Heh, I have a feeling I'm about to undergo a tribulation soon," Mu Feng said as he took out a few high-grade pills, swallowing them without hesitation. "Me too," Lu Di followed suit. "In that case, let's break through first. If we stay out here too long, the Earth Squad might beat us to it," Xiao said with a smile. Ling Xian moved slightly closer to Xiao and asked in a low voice, "Is the flame within you really the sacred flame?" The name, Sacred Flame, was so familiar, yet it was something countless people spent their entire lives pursuing. To possess a sacred flame was to be a true powerhouse. The sacred flame contained many secrets, but only its wielder could truly understand its immense power and abilities. "Yes," Xiao responded casually. However, when Xiao had just used Heaven's stone-shattering burial, he clearly felt that his control over the sacred flame wasn't absolute. He couldn't help but develop a sense of wariness toward Yingying, the spirit of the sacred flame within him. In fact, it seemed that Yingying's control over the sacred flame even exceeded his own. "Are you all right?" Yingying, unaware of Xiaoyan's thoughts, asked gently. "I'm fine," Xiaoyan replied. "What's this guy up to?" Yingying pondered silently. Could he have found something out? But that shouldn't be possible. He has already absorbed the essence of the sacred flame, and as for the Heaven's stone-shattering burial technique, there shouldn't be any flaws left behind. It's strange. I just hope he doesn't figure it out, or my fate could be just as grim. Yingying's thoughts quieted down, retreating into silence. This guy really does possess the sacred flame. At this moment, the usual pride in Ling Xian's heart vanished without a trace. "All right, everyone, take the time to recover your Do Qi. When the time comes, we'll head straight in," Xiao instructed. Swallowing a pill and beginning to absorb its energy, the others quickly followed suit. These kids are impressive," a voice murmured. "They've made it to the finals with just 1 late-stage 6-star Do D, 1 early-stage 6-star Do D, and 2 perfect 5-star Do D teammates. That girl Ling Xian, the hall master specifically asked me to look after her. It seems like she's made it to the finals. Who would have thought that the human hall, after so many years of silence, would produce a genius disciple like Xiao?" Both Ling Yun's team and the Dawn Squad were defeated by them. "These kids are no joke," Xiong Yuan said with a smile, looking at 10 stones on a table before him. These stones recorded the life status of the 10 teams in the competition. If any team member was injured, the corresponding stone would send out a warning. Now, 8 of the stones had already dimmed, leaving only Xiaoyan's team and 1 other from the Earth Hall still glowing. It seems the final showdown will be between Xiaoyan's team from the Human Hall and the strongest team from the Earth Hall. I can't wait to see this battle of titans. With that, Xiong Yuan disappeared into his wooden hut, clearly headed toward the 3 great mountain ranges. After all, these mountains were fraught with danger, and if either of the 2 teams suffered any casualties, Xiong Yuan would be held responsible. This competition had 3 levels of difficulty, and only the top-ranked teams from each level would be selected to compete in the final selection round. While Xiaoyan's group continued to recover their Do Qi at the entrance to the mountains, the 5 members of the Earth Hall's team were already experiencing their own fates inside the mountains. The Earth Hall team had barely reached the entrance when, using 3 wooden tokens, they passed through the mysterious barrier and entered the 3 great mountain ranges. Strangely, despite the area being monopolized by the Incense Pavilion, no outsiders allowed. Even the pavilion's upper ranks hadn't figured out what exactly was behind this mysterious barrier. Each time someone used the tokens to enter, they would be teleported to a random mountain. This randomness added a great deal of danger to the competition. "Where is this place?" The 5 members of the Earth Hall were scattered by a mysterious force as soon as they passed through the barrier. Among them, the most senior was Zhu Yuan, the second senior brother of the Earth Hall. As a half-step 7-star Do D, Zhu Yuan wasn't afraid of the dangers within the 3 great mountain ranges. With his overwhelming strength, he believed he could handle anything, no matter which mountain he ended up in. Damn it, we've been split up. This has never happened before. What's going on in these mountains? Zhu Yuan muttered, his white robes flowing around his well-built frame. His arrogance was evident in his every move, a fitting aura for the second senior brother of the Earth Hall. After a moment's thought, Zhu Yuan stopped struggling against the situation and began observing his surroundings. A thick mist surrounded him, visibility was low, and he couldn't even see his own hand in front of him. Even my perception is blocked? Zhu Yuan tried to spread out his life force, but it was to no avail. I need to be more cautious. The beasts that reside here are likely no pushovers, Zhu Yuan said to himself, shaking his head before setting off deeper into the mountains. Meanwhile, his mind wandered. I wonder how the others are doing. And as for Qin Xian, you will be mine eventually, so you'd better not get hurt. With that, Zhu Yuan quickened his pace, heading further into the mountains. Unbeknownst to him, he wasn't in the 5-element mountain range, but rather the Tianmu mountain range. Cough, cough, cough. Xing Yu's entire body was draped in a cyan Taoist robe, his refined demeanor resembling that of a monk detached from worldly affairs. Wang Chun, where are the others? Second senior brother and the rest? Xing Yu had just steadied himself. He scanned the surroundings, but saw no one else besides Wang Chun. Slightly puzzled, he asked, I don't know. It seems like something strange has happened within these 3 mountain ranges. I vaguely remember the senior brothers who participated in the Falling Spirit Mountain trial last time, mentioning that the entry points for the 3 mountain ranges are supposed to transport the whole team to the same place. But now, it seems something unusual is happening inside the ranges, Wang Chun analyzed. Let's look around. They might be nearby, Xing Yu suggested. If not, things could get tricky, he added. Yeah, Wang Chun replied. Just as he was about to search, he caught Xing Yu's warning. Be careful. Forget about how terrifying the 5-element beast is. Just the death beasts that live in these mountain ranges are far stronger than the ones outside. After Xing Yu finished speaking, his body surged with life force, wary of any lurking dangers. Additionally, among their team was the equally formidable third senior brother, Zhang Wumeng, with the strength of a perfect 6-star Do D. Plop! With a splash, a figure plunged into the lake, followed by a scream as the tall silhouette struggled in the water. Damn it! Who set this trap? Are they trying to mess with us? The person grumbled as they emerged from the water, drenched. Bad luck. Right after entering the 3 mountain ranges, I get this unlucky? Didn't they say there are 10 teams competing? Why are the teams so weak this time? It's no fun. I'd rather challenge the death beasts in these mountain ranges. That sounds more exciting. Zhang Wuming, carefree by nature, didn't even notice that his teammates were missing. Instead, he headed straight toward the deeper parts of the mountain range. At the same time, both Zhang Wuming and Zhu Yuan had been teleported into the Tianmu mountain. In a secluded forest, a graceful figure slowly appeared. As soon as she emerged, her beautiful eyes darted around alertly. This figure was dressed in a flowing robe, her long black hair cascading down her back. Her flawless skin was incredibly alluring, a true beauty in every sense. Just as Master predicted, we've been separated. This should be the mysterious Boundless Mountain. According to Master, the ruler of Boundless Mountain seems to be plotting something. This time, I'll uncover the truth, Qin Xian murmured, her resolve growing as she walked toward the Boundless Mountain. Russell, someone's coming. Judging by their aura, they're from the incense pavilion. Fine, this time, you can all partake in this feast. In a cave atop Boundless Mountain, a sickeningly bloody scent filled the air. A child standing between 2 giant cauldrons let out a sinister grin. One of the cauldrons brimmed with thick, dark blood, while the other was filled with objects resembling magic cores. 3 days passed in the blink of an eye. Under the endless supply of high-grade pills from Xiao, Most of the group's strength had been restored to around 90%. Both Mu Feng and Lu Di, having fought across ranks, had now touched the threshold of the Do Di life tribulation for 6-star Do Dis. Since everyone has mostly recovered, it's time to enter the 3 mountain ranges. Xiao Yin stood up and announced to the group of 4 beside him. Yeah, I can feel my strength improving again. If it weren't for the time pressure of the competition, I might have already attempted to break through to the 6-star Do Di life tribulation, Mu Feng said with a grin. Breaking through the life tribulation of the 6-star Do Di can't be rushed, or else. Lu Di, who was in a similar situation to Mu Feng, spoke softly, clearly aware of the preparations required for such a breakthrough. Heh, I know, I was just saying, Mu Feng chuckled, appreciating Lu Di's concern. Are you two alright? Xiao Yin asked Ling Xian and Mu Yingying. Heh, so you do care about others, huh? Just so you know, we barely handled 4 strong members of the Dawn Squad. And Ling Xian began teasing Xiao Yin but stopped when she recalled that Xiao Yin had just dealt with Guang Lu, the perfect 6-star Do Di of the Dawn Squad. She knew firsthand how powerful Guang Lu was, and fell silent. We're fine. But what about you? You used the power of the sacred flame earlier. Are you alright? Mu Yingying smiled softly. I'm fine. It was my first time using the sacred flame, so I didn't fully control it. But if there's a next time, I'm confident Guang Lu won't last 5 minutes against me. Xiao Yin smiled confidently. He wasn't exaggerating. When Xiao Yin activated the sacred flame, its overwhelming power suppressed opponents, and combined with the sacred flame's destructive potential, he was sure that no one below a 7-star Do Di could stand a chance against him. Well then, let's move out. Xiao Yin stood up, leading the group toward a large boulder up ahead. This massive rock stood out, clearly the designated spot for placing the 3 wooden tokens needed to enter. We have more than enough tokens now, Mu Feng said, smiling as they approached the boulder and saw the extra tokens in Xiao Yan's hand. There's nothing we can do. Only 3 of these tokens are usable. Once we enter, the others will turn to dust, Ling Xian explained. I can't shake the feeling that this mission is more than just defeating the 5-element beast. There's something unsettling about the 3 mountain ranges. Let's head in first. After speaking, Xiao Yin swiftly drew out 3 wooden tokens and aimed them at the 3 indentations on the massive stone. Swoosh, swoosh. The 3 tokens landed perfectly in the slots on the stone. Suddenly, the stone radiated a blinding light, and the next moment, Xiao Yin and the 4 others were enveloped in it. Rumble. A sound reminiscent of giant gears turning echoed, and the figures of Xiao Yan's group began to blur. They passed through the massive stone and disappeared. Cough, cough. What an intense pressure. During the mysterious teleportation process, Xiao Yin felt an overwhelming force pressing on him, and he could only grit his teeth in silence. SHHHH. Seems like there's something valuable inside. Behind Xiao Yin, Tianmu, sent by the Ghost Emperor, let out a chilling voice. However, the restrictions here are surprisingly strong. If not for the presence of ghostly energy, I wouldn't have been able to enter. It seems fate is on my side. Tianmu finished, stepping up to the massive stone where Xiao Yan's group had disappeared. He released a dark, eerie energy that merged with the faint, ghostly aura behind the stone. In the next moment, Tianmu's figure vanished, entering the 3 great mountain ranges. Rumble. Xiao Yin and his group had successfully teleported into the 3 great mountain ranges. However, at the last moment, a tremendous, irresistible force struck them, scattering the 5 in different directions. Damn it! Mu Feng panicked as he saw the situation. These 3 great mountain ranges were no joke. One wrong step could spell disaster. Furthermore, as only a perfect 5-star Do Di, Mu Feng was at a disadvantage in such a perilous place. Why are these mountains so strange? Mu Feng cursed under his breath, but soon calmed down. After entering one of the 3 mountain ranges, he sensed an eerie atmosphere, unlike that of ordinary ghostly creatures. It felt as though it was a fusion of righteous energy and ghostly aura. This should be the 5-element mountain range, but I wonder where Xiao Yin and the others have gone, Mu Feng muttered. With that, a surge of dark green Do Chi flowed out from him, and he gripped his wooden sword tightly, staying alert. Meanwhile, Lu Di and Ling Xian had arrived at the Tianmu mountain range. Where are the others? Lu Di asked, steadying himself, realizing Xiao Yin and the others were nowhere to be found. I don't know. This kind of thing never happened in the past trials here. What's going on lately? Truly strange, Ling Xian said, her gaze scanning the surroundings. In previous trials held by the incense pavilion, Ling Xian always got a sense of the rules and stories from her father, but this time, she had heard nothing like this. She was deeply alarmed. This doesn't seem like the five-element mountain range. It feels more like Tianmu Mountain. After a brief survey, Ling Xian noticed something was off. The three mountain ranges of Falling Spirit Mountain were easy to distinguish. The five-element mountain range was ruled by the five-element beasts, with all features, mountains, trees, aligned with the five elements. The Tianmu mountain range, on the other hand, was utterly chaotic, far more dangerous. A single misstep could lead to the heaven-eye giant beast stealing one's soul, a threat even though immortals couldn't withstand. The most dangerous of all, however, was Boundless Mountain, perpetually shrouded in mist. Be careful. The Tianmu mountain range is far more dangerous than the five-element mountain range. We should get out of here and find Xiao Yin and the others, Ling Xian said as she slowly began moving, her eyes alert. Looks like we really were separated. Meanwhile, Xiao Yin and Yingying had arrived at Boundless Mountain. Even before entering, I had a feeling something was off, Yingying said, scanning the area with her beautiful eyes, noting that Lu Di, Mu Feng, and Ling Xian were nowhere to be seen. I feel it too. Something is definitely unusual here. How about we go in and take a look? Xiao Yin smiled. That's exactly what I was thinking, Yingying responded with a grin. Just as she finished speaking, Yingying unleashed a burst of brilliant blue sacred flame, which she immediately directed at Xiao Yin. With quick reflexes, Xiao Yin prepared to defend himself, but just then, he noticed Yingying signaling him with her eyes. Understanding her intent, he allowed the attack to land. There's something wrong with your sacred flame? Yingying's strike pushed Xiao Yin back a few steps, and suddenly, the heart rock within him seemed to fall into a deep sleep. Cough, cough. What's wrong? Xiao Yin steadied himself, feeling puzzled by the fact that Yingying's attack had caused the heart rock to fall dormant. What's wrong? Xiao Yin wasn't hurt, but it was clear that Yingying's attack had been aimed specifically at the heart rock within him. I'm not sure, but when you used the source power of the sacred flame, it felt like you weren't the true master of it. Perhaps the spirit of the sacred flame inside you is the one really controlling it, while you're merely its medium. My earlier strike was directed at the sacred flame spirit within you. It put the spirit to sleep for a while, Yingying said, her intelligent eyes flickering with insight. Impossible. I devoured the sacred flame. Its source power is within me, but the sacred flame spirit still exists inside me. Xiao Yin was shocked by Yingying's words, but he couldn't deny them. When he had fought Guang Lu earlier, he had indeed used the sacred flame's source power for heaven's stone-shattering burial, but the result had been underwhelming. He hadn't felt as in control of the sacred flame as he had expected. Even during his first use of the sacred flame's source power, the heaven's stone-shattering burial hadn't been as powerful as it should have been. Devouring the sacred flame doesn't mean you completely control it. I can sense that the sacred flame spirit within you seems to have its own plans. The sacred flame is one of the most powerful entities in the Great Thousand Worlds. If you could fully control the sacred flame, when you fought Guang Lu earlier, he would have been instantly defeated, even if you were holding back. There's no way he could have withstood it. Looks like there's something wrong with the sacred flame, or rather, the spirit of the sacred flame, inside you, Yingying said casually. Is there any way to fix it? Xiao Yin asked, regaining his composure. Since Yingying was bold enough to mention it, she likely had some solution. You helped me overcome my tribulation before, so now I'll help you with the sacred flame problem. Consider us even, Yingying said, with a slight smirk. It's true that each sacred flame gives birth to a spirit of the sacred flame, but that spirit is still part of the flame itself. So right now, the power of your sacred flame has been divided into two. One part is the flame's original essence, and the other part is the spirit of the sacred flame inside you. To truly subdue the sacred flame, you need to devour that spirit. Only then will the sacred flame truly be yours, Yingying explained seriously. Devour the spirit of the sacred flame? Xiao was slightly taken aback by her words, but he could tell she wasn't lying. Yes, devour it. Only then will the sacred flame inside you be complete. Otherwise, as long as the spirit of the sacred flame exists, there's no telling what kind of trouble it could cause later on. Yingying's voice dropped to a more serious tone. That makes sense. Xiao nodded thoughtfully, though in his heart he was also wondering about the connection between his heart rock flame and the Fireheart heavenly rock. Close your eyes and relax. Let me see if I can help you. Yingying stepped closer, her beautiful eyes flickering as if deep in thought. All right, Xiao agreed, sitting down cross-legged as instructed and closing his eyes. Yingying let her sacred flame power, a brilliant blue, envelop her before sending it cautiously into Xiao body. After a while, she shook her head. No, the spirit of the sacred flame inside you is too powerful. You'd need the strength of a 7-star Do D or above to handle this. Right now, I can't help you. Also, if we try to force the devouring process, it might damage your flame's core essence, Yingying added after a moment of silence. Never mind then. There's no rush right now. I'm not strong enough to absorb it anyway. But I should warn you, the spirit of the sacred flame is highly hostile toward humans. You should stay on guard. With that, Yingying retracted her blue flame. It seems that's all we can do for now. Xiao nodded, understanding her point. Let's go. We should check out Boundless Mountain first, Yingying said, standing up and heading toward the mist-shrouded mountain. As they walked, Xiao couldn't help but mumble, Yingying's control over the sacred flame is probably better than mine. He found it strange. Yingying's flame was undoubtedly a sacred flame, yet she had never summoned the spirit of her flame, which suggested she had already fused with it. The two continued silently along a winding path, staying alert for potential dangers. Strange. We've traveled quite a distance, but we haven't encountered a single death beast, Xiao remarked, scanning their surroundings. Given the strength of the beasts that should inhabit Boundless Mountain, it doesn't make sense that we've seen none. This is definitely unusual, he said, frowning. Stay sharp. I think the secret lies at the mountain's peak. Yingying responded, becoming more cautious. Agreed. Just as Xiao answered, he felt a searing heat awaken within him. Xiao, what just happened? Heartrock's voice suddenly echoed from within, demanding answers. Nothing much. Yingying lost control for a moment and attacked us, but everything's fine now, Xiao replied calmly, without missing a beat. Sorry about that, Yingying chimed in, playing along. The sacred flame backfired, and I almost... Which sacred flame do you possess, by the way? Heartrock asked, clearly noticing some lingering injuries on Xiao but not suspecting the truth. Cough. Just drop it, Xiao said dismissively. Your spirit of the sacred flame is quite unique, Yingying remarked with a slight smile. Xiao, understanding her unspoken meaning, nodded. No, if Xiao discovers the connection between me and the sacred flame, my fate will be terrible. Heartrock thought grimly from within Xiao. But this isn't my fault. Xiaomu, all of this is your doing. You wronged me back then, and now I will take everything back from your clan. Heartrock retreated into Xiao body as the two continued their climb toward Boundless Mountain's midpoint, unaware of the looming conspiracy. Meanwhile, at the mountain's peak, a blood-soaked cave was filled with a sinister aura. SSS, what a delicious feast. The death beasts here exist for me. This time, I will escape this cursed place with all your lingering desires. Humans, Incense Pavilion, Mystic Three Heavens, one day, you will all bow before me. A childlike voice echoed sinisterly as two enormous cauldrons, one filled with blood and the other with magic cores, radiated power toward the figure's small body. With each surge, the child's body glowed with bloody light. Nightcat, we have guests. Go greet them, the child commanded, and a small black-furred cat lying nearby stretched before darting out of the cave. Once outside, the nightcat transformed into a seductive woman, muttering, "Master really is crazy, trying such an extreme method to break through the limits of falling Spirit Mountain. I've heard from Master before that although there are fewer death beasts in Boundless Mountain, those that do exist are incredibly powerful. But after walking for so long, it's strange that I haven't encountered a single one," Xiao muttered, walking slowly. The darkness in Boundless Mountain was so dense you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, severely limiting visibility. Even with Xiao's strength, she had to tread carefully. However, the deeper she ventured, the more she sensed something unusual about this place. "There's no trace of any life here," she murmured, shaking her head. Peering through the thick white mist, she gazed towards the mountain peak. It seems that the ruler of Boundless Mountain is indeed plotting something. Just like Master said, Xiao's eyes narrowed slightly, her tone filled with a sense of foreboding. "Heh, what a lovely little beauty." Just as Xiao hesitated, the space 3 meters in front of her rippled, and a slender figure stepped out from the disturbance. "Who's there?" Xiao's sharp instincts kicked in, and she shouted the moment the voice appeared. There was something about this figure that made her feel an oppressive discomfort, a sensation she only experienced with enemies far stronger than herself. Judging by the sheer intensity of this pressure, her foe's strength was likely at the level of a 7-star Do D. "Who I am is none of your concern. What you need to know is that you're not welcome here. Turn back the way you came." The seductive figure in front of her was none other than Yimao, the guardian of the Boundless Mountain summit. "And if I refuse?" Xiao's wariness grew. This captivating woman exuded a sharp, almost suffocating aura that set her on edge. Yimao's body was unlike that of a typical human. Her ears resembled a cat's, and behind her swayed a fluffy, feline tail. "Then I'll have to show you the way out." Yimao snapped, her voice cold. The only reason Yimao showed any courtesy was because her master was in the middle of something critical and could not be disturbed. However, another reason lingered. Despite her own strength as a 7-star Do D, she felt a deep unease from Xiao, as if the girl possessed something dangerous. "Humph, do you think I don't know about the shady schemes you're plotting here in Boundless Mountain?" Xiao retorted sharply. "Now I really can't let you leave." Yimao's cat-like eyes gleamed with intelligence, and without further hesitation, she raised her hand. 5 razor-sharp claws materialized from her fingers, and she shot forward, aiming straight for Xiao. Xiao, known not only for her beauty but also her exceptional skill, was prepared. She had been on guard the moment Yimao appeared. As the attack came, Xiao swiftly dodged, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. Although she had evaded Yimao's strike, the surrounding space quivered from the sheer power of the attack. The force Yimao unleashed had caused a violent tremor in the air. "Go!" Xiao, the prized disciple of Elder Qing, wasn't to be underestimated. Her life force surged forth, concentrating in her hands as she launched a counterattack toward Yimao. Boom, boom, boom. Yimao saw this and remained unfazed. Her eyes grew sharper, and she crossed her 2 cat-like claws in front of her, using her 7-star Do D strength to block the assault. This girl, she's truly arrogant. Instead of feeling relief, Xiao grew more cautious. Yimao's confidence stemmed from her overwhelming strength as a 7-star Do D, far beyond Xiao's own level. "Humph, your power is all show and no substance." Yimao scoffed, effortlessly deflecting Xiao's seemingly fearsome blow. Though Xiao was indeed strikingly beautiful, her strength was, at most, at the late 6-star Do D level, a tier far inferior to Yimao's 7-star Do D. "Don't be so sure." Xiao suddenly smiled, a dangerous smile. Just as Yimao was about to attack again and capture her, Xiao reached into her storage ring, pulling out a yellow scroll engraved with elegant patterns. The moment the scroll appeared, Yimao's pupils constricted. This isn't good. Realizing her earlier mistake of underestimating Xiao, Yimao shouted in alarm. Her energy surged as she prepared to suppress Xiao completely. Too late. Flame Heaven Hand. With a subtle smile, Xiao activated the scroll. As it unfurled, a massive flaming hand began to materialize. The sheer size and heat of the fiery hand caused the surrounding mist to recede slightly. Go! EngSubs' eyes sharpened as she directed the flame heaven hand toward Yimao. This was no ordinary technique. This was a high-level immortal class Do skill capable of overwhelming everything with its immense power. However, EngSubs had used a one-time use scroll to cast it. Damn it! Yimao, realizing the immense destructive force coming her way, had no choice but to focus all her energy on defense. The searing flames and terrifying power of the flame heaven hand left no room for distraction. A 3-zhang-wide gap seemed to connect to some mysterious place. EngSubs faintly sensed an ominous power seeping from it. Meanwhile, Nightcat was making subtle gestures towards the opening. Energy surge. In the next moment, Nightcat seemed to complete the gesture. With a thunderous shout, the gap suddenly erupted with a towering black beam of light. The black beam shot forth like an arrow piercing through clouds, breaking the serene silence of Boundless Mountain. It then collided head-on with EngSubs' one-time Do skill scroll, Flame Heaven Hand. Boom, boom, boom. The moment the two forces clashed, scorching waves of fire blasted outward. Both Nightcat and EngSubs continuously funneled power into the attack, each attempting to overwhelm the other in a decisive strike. At that moment, EngSubs and Nightcat were already on the mountainside of Boundless Mountain. The terrifying shockwave immediately caught the attention of Xiao and his companion, who were still making their way up at a slower pace. What is that energy? Xiao was the first to sense the alarming fluctuation coming from the mountain. He quickly looked up toward the mountainside, where intense fiery energy was clearly visible. Someone was fighting up there. Flame power. It looks like someone from our incense pavilion. If I had to guess, it's probably some of the Earth Squad, though I can't be sure exactly who. Yingying spoke, a hint of confusion flashing in her eyes. Could the Earth Squad have run into some kind of danger? With such a terrifying disturbance, the opponent's strength must be formidable. Let's go. Upon hearing this, Xiao didn't waste any time.